Hey, I wanted to talk about our speeches that we just did, specifically about reading from a script, because when you read from a script, it's monotone and there's no eye contact. So stop reading from a script. All right, so the speeches were pretty good. I was really impressed with the content and the structure. So many did it so well, especially transitions. They were just great. However, the elephant in the room, right? Going forward, absolutely zero script reading. You could have notes, like I have notes, but there is no script reading. Has to be eye contact. You have to have some vocal variety, and you can't do that when you're reading from a script because it comes across as just robotic, like you're reading a book report to someone. So moving forward, that's what we're doing. But why do we do it? Why do we read from a script? Well, one of the things is lack of preparation, right? You're just simply not prepared. The other thing is sort of a crutch. It's a safety mechanism. I can sit here and read from this, and I don't have to engage with the people, or in this case, online with the camera. So it's a common thing. If you ask about, I think it's 85% of the population, ask them what their number one fear is, it's public speaking, right? It's higher than death and spiders, right? I think spiders is number three. So it's a common fear that people have. And one of the things is when you remove that crutch is you all of a sudden have to become more vulnerable. But you know what? That's actually a strength. There's this really interesting effect called the Pratfall effect, which is, found out in the 60s and 70s when they were doing some um, behavioral psychological studies. And so, what the pratfall effect is, if somebody's competent, remember that word competent, because that's a key piece of this. If somebody's competent and they go up and they give a speech or they talk at a meeting or whatever it may be, if someone's competent and they stumble, could be physically stumble or mess their words up or do something, spill their coffee, whatever it may be, if they're competent, all of a sudden when somebody has that pratfall, they have that little fumbling, bumbling thing, we think audiences, we like them better. And so if somebody's really super polished comes up and delivers great, that's great. But however, if somebody makes a little fumble or a bumble, we like them better. That's called the pratfall effect. So why am I telling you this? So you don't have to stress out about being perfect. Don't even think about being perfect, because one, if you're competent and you know your stuff, people are going to tend to find you more relatable, and they're going to like you better if there is some humanity, there's some vulnerability to it. It's a connection, and it's really a powerful thing. So the other thing about that is like, all right, well, if you're afraid of public speaking, which most people are, and that's fine. If you're more prepared, well, then all of a sudden you just do better at it. So just remember that you don't need to be perfect. So with that, I'm going to ask you to do one thing: trust yourself. So when you're going to give your next speech, right? Um, Prepare, do whatever. And then when you record it, just go and trust yourself. So what's going to happen is you're going to start to remember the things that you had in your speech. So don't make it up on the spot. Very painful. There was a couple people, I put some commentary about that, where clearly not prepared. Spoke, delivered pretty well, but it was just, you would just make it up on the fly, and that really loses credibility. So don't do that. You have to be prepared, right? That's the key point of the pratfall effect. Be prepared. Any little mistakes you make, hey, we're all human. We're going to tend to lean into you more, and we're going to like the speech better.